Hey guys, it's me, Jess, or So It Is True. I'm just making a quick video in response. So I had a lot of response to my update video, which I made another update video because it had more information and stuff, so I'm going to post that. But before I do, I just wanted to recognize, because I'm going to close down this the video that I made that's very shaky and it sounds really messed up. So I'm going to close that one out. But before I do, I want to respond to some of the messages that was left to me. One of the responses were from D, I believe is the name. I'm just going to go with D. So D said that she's having, or he's having, surgery August the 6th. And it didn't really hit her or him. I'm just going to go with her. Didn't really hit her until yesterday. And, ow. And she got really upset about it. And to be honest with you, I understand. If you go back in my videos, you can watch a few hours before my surgery, I lost my mind. Like, I was really down and out about the whole situation. So I wanted to respond to some of your questions because, I was messaging everybody and nobody would respond to me. I just wanted to talk to somebody and nobody would. Luckily, I had a couple friends that were there for me at that time, so that was really good. Dum dum dum. So the question, so the question was, did you ever feel as if you were gonna fail? That's a really good question, and I did. I just knew that gastric bypass was not going to work for me. I knew that it wasn't going to work. I knew that I was going to be the only failure to start. Like, I wouldn't lose a pound. Like, I knew that that's what was going to happen. So it's definitely common to feel like you're going to fail before going into having the surgery. While you were post-op, did you ever feel like you didn't choose the right procedure? That is a good question. For about 3 or 4 weeks after the surgery, I had a lot of complications. But when I was at home, I would just cry and cry and cry and cry. And I was really alone during that time, so it was really painful and very difficult for me. But what I did is I would watch TV, and it felt like every effing commercial was about food. I was miserable, like miserable. All I did was bawl my eyes out at food. Like, that's when I realized how bad of an addiction I had to food and how bad of an addictive personality that I have, that I would let food become such a priority in my life. And so yeah, I definitely felt like I was looking into researching, I was legit researching reversing the surgery. Like calling to make appointments with other surgeons to get it revoked. Like, it was serious. I was done. No, I was not having it. But after I started feeling a little bit better, I had surgery May the 9th and July the 2nd, a couple weeks before. I got into a huge fight with my ex, and I decided that it was time for me to go. And July the 2nd, I moved down to North Carolina, and I said, I'm not going to cry about it anymore. I'm ready to move on with my life. And although I had a lot of complications, I was quite ill, and I couldn't really leave my bed for some time. I started to come around. It didn't take too long. I was probably 2 months post-op before I really said, screw it. I'm just, I have to deal with it. This is me now. And did I ever feel like nobody understood? Absolutely. Nobody I knew down here had gastric bypass. My grandmother couldn't understand it. I got really weak and very sick, and she would get mad because I wouldn't pick up the house and stuff. And, she regrets it now, which is cool. But, then I was miserable. It was terrible. And being alone was horrific. And, my mom was the only one that would bring me to the hospital constantly and beg them to help me. And, I hate to say this, being that you're pre-op, but, maybe I'm one of the few that had as many complications as I did. But in any event, yeah, absolutely. I felt like I was the only one in the world that was going through what I was going through, and it took a lot of research for me to find out that, I wasn't alone, but nobody else would talk about it. Nobody else would come out on Facebook and say, or on YouTube and say, it's not all grand and dandy. You get weight loss, that's great, but it's not perfect. It's not all cupcakes and roses. So, but, that's pretty much it for that. Nobody really understood me, but, let's move on. There's another one, JM. Don't know if male or female, but JM, we'll go with JM. asked a question. Any advice or anything you can give, I would really appreciate it. Did you exercise a lot? Did you eat all Weight Watchers foods? I'm under the understanding that basically the weight would melt off of you. Well, I never exercised. No, I did not, because I was very sick, so I couldn't exercise. The weight does just come off. It's because you're not eating. Mine came off quite a bit faster, and that's because of the health conditions I had. But it does come off. A lot of people, though, I'll say this: a lot of people start eating faster and start eating the carbs and mashed potatoes and stuff like that. They have the problem with losing less weight in the beginning of the surgery. Now, if you focus and you keep yourself on that liquid diet as long as you possibly can stand it, and 2 weeks isn't that long. Like, I did a liquid diet for nearly, it must have been, I get nauseous, like sick when I go back and think about directly after surgery. Like being on that bus, July 2nd, coming down from Boston, like, I was so sick, and the AC wasn't working, and I was going from cold weather to hot weather, and I was still, good 300 and something pounds. It was miserable. But, for the whole duration, I didn't exercise until I'm now 3 years post-op, so about a year ago, before I got hurt, I started exercising. So, that goes to tell you, if you eat well, I maintained, and that's because, I ate well, never really exercised, but I still ate well, and, focused on, why I had an addiction to food. But Weight Watchers foods, no. The reason why is because those pre-made meals like that, loaded with sodium. Absolutely, horrifically loaded with sodium. Take a look, next time you take a look at portions and you take a look at those frozen meals, first of all, make sure it's 1 serving and not 2. Quite often they're 2 servings and you don't even know it. You think it's 1 serving and it's not 2 servings. Then take a look at the sodium count. Ridiculous. So no, I stood away, took, frozen meals and stuff like that. I didn't do this for a really long time. The only thing that I would do that was prepackaged was Atkins shakes. And that's because they're low carb, low sugar, high protein. Exactly what gastric bypass patients need. The only difference is I ate a lot of, try to get in a lot of fiber, for obvious reasons. With all that protein, you can't really do much with your system like that. Going down, JM, you posted something else that said, I just had so in response, JM also said, I had gastric bypass 7 weeks ago, and I've only lost 26 pounds. I have a total of 80 pounds to lose from start. So you only had 80 pounds to lose and you had gastric bypass. Typically, you have to be 100 pounds overweight to have it, but I guess it really depends on health. I was at the lower end of my weight spectrum to start, I guess. But anyways, my answer is, why am I losing weight so slow? Does the surgery fail some people, therefore failed me? 26 pounds isn't worth all the pain I went through during surgery. Okay, good question. Being that you only had 80 pounds to lose, that's probably a good reason why you didn't lose bulk right in the beginning there. Typically, when you're really overweight, like 400 pounds like I was, you're going to lose a lot more because your body's being starved, and it starts eating away at that fat. So 80 pounds to lose, yeah, you're going to have to, here's the difference. When I was 400 pounds and I had gastric bypass and I really haven't exercised, that's because I was really big. And then, I'm not really exercising per se, but I'm moving around a lot more, cleaning the house, doing things like that. Before, I was very slow with everything I did, very slow. I would really contemplate going pee. Now, if I have to go pee, I struggle because of my back, but I get up and I go. If I want to get something to drink, I get up and I go. Bo and I were just talking about last night was the first night that I watched a movie, even though my back's been hurt. Last night was the first time I watched a movie in a really long time. And one of the biggest reasons is because I'm always up and down. I may not be getting anything done, but I can't sit still. So that's probably why. Being that you only had 80 pounds to lose, you're probably going to do a lot more exercising, to be honest with you, because your body isn't carrying around as much fat. So you're going to have to exercise to get that fat off. Yeah. I would recommend doing like a what is it called? Zumba or whatever it's called, because it exercises your entire body. And the biggest problem with weight loss patients is the fat kind of either hangs and stuff like that. The fat that's hanging is not attached to muscles, therefore you cannot lose the weight that's in that area. The only way that your body does that is when it eats away at it. So you're going to have to focus on that. Being that you're 7 weeks out, I'm guessing that you're already at regular foods, or therefore pretty close to, maybe not steak or something, but what I recommend doing, if that's only the amount of weight you've lost, I would go back on a 2 weeks of liquid diet. That's what I would do. Because right now is the time for you to lose all of your weight. Now, you're going to have times where, being that you're just 7 weeks out, you're going to have, right about now is where you're going to be having a serious plateau. And everybody freaks out 2 months, 3 months out. You have that plateau that's probably a month long, and it's ridiculous. But remember, just because you're not losing pounds does not mean you're not losing inches. There's a big difference there. And I keep telling people, but nobody listens to me. Get out a measuring tape and measure yourself starting today. Measure yourself today. Measure your arms, measure your forearms, measure your neck, around your bust, around right below your bust, around your gut, each thigh, because you'll find that you lose more weight in one thigh than the other. Your calves, ankles, wrists. Measure your entire body. Wait a week, maybe 2 weeks even. Measure yourself again, and you'll see a huge difference. You can calculate how many inches you've lost. It's insane. Anyway, so there's to answer some questions. I'm going to go ahead and post this, get rid of this video, and post up my most updated video that's a little bit better in quality. I cut myself earlier. Anyway, love you guys. Thanks for watching. And I'm going to post another video today. I'm not really sure what about, but I think there was something I was going to post a video about. Your face! Bo, shut up. I'm going to show everybody. Everybody wants to Bo? Where the hell is he? There he is. I know, I can't see anything. There it is, I can see you. You're right there. Bo's our land poker. He's so stupid. Here's Molly. Chillax and Needy. He's over here because Needy ate something that fell on the ground, and he is not a happy puppy right now because Bo had Mexican and dropped some salsa on the ground, and he licked it. Needy, how's your mouth feeling? Are you still drooling? You still drooling? How you feeling? Oh, say, Daddy, I just don't feel so hot. Oh, it's just getting so hot. Oh, just getting so warm. Oh, say hi to the world, Meaty. You're a star. Mimi, is your mouth hurting? Give a kiss. Oh, I was getting all excited because I didn't give her kisses. I hate that you can't see anything. Molly, what are you doing? Watch your tail goes crazy when you talk to her about it. I was looking at her. Oh, look at her. Molly, want a bath? Ooh, bath time. Meaty, Molly, get kisses. There's a fucking up there. Molly, what are you doing, pretty mama? What are you doing, pretty mama? You can give love into the camera. Give kisses. Give kisses. Oh. Give kisses. What is that, Molly? Kisses? Oh, thank you. Oh, you're such a pretty baby. Me, give me kisses. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, I love you too. Oh, I love you too. Such a jealous little bastard, ain't he? Oh, I'm just so jealous. I'm just so jealous. Yes, I am. Yeah, oh, loving each other. You guys are such babies. Alright. Anyway. I'm going to go ahead and post this video. Keep an eye out. Love you guys. Bye.